Hey everyone, welcome to this video. So in the previous video, we went over training, and in this video, we will focus on gradient descent, which is used to update weights. So there are several variants of gradient descent, which are batch gradient descent, stochastic gradient descent, and mini batch gradient descent. Let's go over batch gradient descent first. In this, you find the gradient using all training samples, but this can get computationally expensive, for example, with millions of images. So imagine we're trying to train a model to determine if this is a picture of a dog or a cat, and we have thousands or perhaps millions of images to train on. If we have to use every single image to calculate the gradient, this can get computationally expensive, but it's fairly accurate. Now, what is the other end of the coin, or the other extreme? It would be stochastic gradient descent, where you find the gradient using a single random training sample. As you can guess, instead of using perhaps up to millions of images, we just use a single random image or training sample. So it's less computationally expensive, but also less accurate. So, in this chart, the center or middle is empty. So can you guess what would fit in here? There's a sweet spot between using all training samples and using a single random training sample. That will be mini batch gradient descent. Find the gradient using a mini batch, such as 64 samples, of training samples. It's less computationally expensive because instead of again perhaps using thousands or millions of samples, we'll go with 64. And it's fairly accurate, or accurate enough. So there you go. Mini batch gradient descent hits this sweet spot of in between the extremes of all training samples and a single random training sample. It's relatively computationally cheap and it's accurate enough. And in fact, earlier on in this course, we ran a model that classified images of digits. So it would guess that this is a 6, this is a 7, and this is a 1. And we do mini batch gradient descent with a batch size of 64. And again, we don't do a batch size of 1 or a batch size of potentially what looks to be 54,000 images. We do something in between, which is, well, 64, as you can see here. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.